Hi, my name's Jason Motlagh. Along with videographer Mark Oltmans and photographer Patty Brown, I reported on mass atrocities committed against the ethnic Rohingya minority. Last August, the Myanmar military went on a rampage in Rakhine State that killed thousands of Rohingya civilians and forced more than 750,000 to flee to neighboring Bangladesh. Myanmar authorities tried to frame the attacks as clearing operations against Rohingya insurgents, but there's overwhelming evidence they were part of a deliberate campaign to wipe out the Rohingya. We interviewed dozens of survivors who shared stories of systematic murder, mass rape, and arson. We met women and children with horrific injuries who managed to escape village massacres. Their testimonies revealed how the military had made preparations for genocide in the months leading up to the attacks. These included forming and arming civilian death squads, cutting off food supplies to the region, and redeploying thousands of battle-hardened soldiers from other parts of the country. But the state's persecution of the Rohingya goes back decades. Over the years, they've been stripped of citizenship, barred from higher education, faced restrictions on marriage and childbirth, and denied freedom of movement under apartheid-like conditions. When I first started reporting on the Rohingya back in 2012, Myanmar was opening up to the world and experimenting with democracy. But since then, the plight of Rohingya Muslims has only grown worse. In Rakhine, the government has forced tens of thousands into concentration camps where food and health care are limited and disease is rampant. Desperation has driven scores to attempt escape to foreign countries by boat. Instead, many die on the journey or end up trafficked and abused by criminal networks. The trouble with the Rohingya is that they're stateless. No one has their back. The United Nations and Western governments have expressed sympathy with their plight, but not enough to take meaningful action when it matters. Warning signs ahead of the genocidal violence that took place last summer went ignored. Last year's exodus of Rohingya from Myanmar is the fastest since the Rwandan genocide of 1994. They're now stranded in dismal refugee camps in Bangladesh without hope of a safe return home. And once again, coverage of the crisis is fading from the news. We'd like to thank the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting, Rolling Stone, and the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum for their support that's allowed us to continue covering this unfolding tragedy. Thank you for listening.